In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to step into your masculine energy as a woman. And in doing so, how you can become empowered, how you can overcome insurmountable obstacles, and how you can achieve greatness in more ways than one. If this is of interest to you, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Rachel E. Humphreys, and I'm the founder and CEO of Mental Health Mastery Academy, and I help you transform your life through a mental health focused approach. So in this video, I want to share with the ladies out there how you can step into your masculine energy. No, this does not mean you have to be a masculine woman. No, this does not mean that you have to act like a man, but we all possess masculine and feminine energies within us. And it's of my humble opinion that a lot of the problems that we experience in this life, whether it be relationship issues or personal self-development and growth issues, issues with success, all of these types of areas, we are often held back by the imbalances of our own internal masculine and feminine energies or the internal balances of another, and are either enablement of those imbalances in another or co-creation and participation in that imbalance in another. So we really all play off of one another. And I want to make it clear that in this video, I'm not talking about sexual identity or preferences or anything of that nature. I'm specifically speaking about the internal masculine and feminine energies from an energetic standpoint within a female, within a woman. So, ladies, what happens to a lot of us women is that growing up in modern day society, even here in the United States, where it's so possible for us to achieve amazing things, right? We can go to school, we can have careers, we can own our own businesses. There's not a lot that holds us back in that way as a woman. If we want to achieve it, it's likely possible here in the United States. Now, with that being said, still many parts of our culture and society have bred women to kind of have this sit down, look pretty, and be quiet approach. But then throughout recent decades where there was a mass influx in the 80s of women re-entering the workforce, it changed the dynamics within the household, within traditional relationship roles. And it's certainly, really stemming back to even earlier in time, in the earlier centuries where we had women achieving the right to vote. Since then, in this feminism movement, there's been a progressive evolution in how women show up, how they are perceived, how they are interact, how they are respected, and the roles that they play and the energies that they possess. Now, what happens is there's this kind of extreme polarity that we're seeing where women are either in this very submissive role, this very almost old school type role, and they are allowing themselves to be abused, they're allowing themselves to be disrespected, belittled, mistreated, whether it be in the workplace, in their relationship dynamics, in their social sectors and groups, or we have women who are going to the extreme and really exercising what would be more like a toxic or weak masculinity, right? Which neither one of these is ideal. You can truly stand in your power as a woman, and the key to that is knowing when to switch your masculine and feminine energies on and off, when and how to show up in that. But if you haven't yet achieved that kind of yin-yang balance, then the first step is like what we're talking about in this video, as well as the next video that I'll be releasing or have just released that is on how to step into your feminine energy. So please stay tuned for that or watch that video. There will be a link to that in this description box once it has been released. Now, stepping into your masculine energy, knowing when and how to step into that is helpful, especially if you've not yet achieved that kind of yin-yang balance, because at some point you've got to learn to stand up. And I'm going to keep it very raw and real with you here, ladies, that if you are still in very toxic, abusive relationships, if you are still not standing in your power within the workplace and in other critical areas of your life, you will be a doormat. You will be taken advantage of. You will be considered to be a pushover, naive, something to be that is disposable. And that's just the raw truth and reality of it. We show people how to treat us. We show people how to love us, how to respect us, through the way in which we love and respect ourselves, the way that we treat ourselves, and the way that we treat others. Now, it's really important because it's super easy in these beginning stages to become, as I said, more like a weak, toxic masculinity where you're being overbearing, you're being over-aggressive, and taking it too far to where you are then being abusive, disruptive, passive-aggressive, or toxic with others, and that is just simply not acceptable either. So how you can, 3 ways you can step into your masculine energy. If, let's say, you are just coming out of an abusive relationship or a disempowering situation career-wise or familial, some sort of area of your life, and you're feeling disempowered, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling silenced, unheard, if you're feeling in any way a victim, once you feel these types of feelings, that is your key, that you need to step up your masculine energy. And that's not for anyone else, it's for you. It's so that you can regain your power. It is that masculine energy that's going to put you back on your pedestal. And then as you begin to regain internal strength, stamina, courage, and tenacity, you can then begin to reassume your true energy, your true feminine state, which puts you in, again, that balance and your true feminine power. So what you need to do, 3 things that you can do that will very quickly, very easily begin to help you transition. First things first, you need to try to set a healthy boundary. It can be with anyone, anywhere, in any area or situation, especially if you're not someone who's typically setting boundaries with others. You might be surprised at how this goes. Now, I know it sounds basic or elementary, but if you're not used to setting boundaries, or you're used to being a pushover or taken advantage of, then trust me, the first time you start setting firm boundaries with others or with particular individuals, and you stay consistent in that, you don't break face, you don't break mold, you're going to get so much kickback, and it's going to get ugly, and it can be scary and overwhelming, trust me. So the first thing you can do is set a boundary. And you need to choose your battles carefully. Choose this boundary carefully. So where is an area within a relationship or within your life to where someone is consistently crossing a line? Where are they consistently overstepping your boundary, taking advantage of you or abusing you or someone that you love? Where can you set a healthy boundary? Now, when you set that boundary, it's always better to show, not tell. And you can tell, you can give a heads up or a warning, but the more that you speak, the more disempowering or weak that boundary actually is. So the key is to decide in your mind, okay, I'm not going to allow this person to show up at my house unannounced anymore, or I'm not going to allow this person to be demanding of my time and attention anymore. Then what you need to do is the very next time that happens, you very firmly let them know, XYZ is not acceptable, and I kindly ask that you do XYZ next time. The very next time that it happens, you will have to let them know some sort of way verbally, because especially if you've never had those boundaries before, it can get confusing for them. So let's say that there's an individual who repeatedly shows up and just instantly demands your time or attention. Maybe this is a member of your household. The next time that they come and just expect you to drop everything to meet their every need and demand, then that's when you show them without telling them. And you could do something as simple as, hey, that sounds important to you. I understand that you may need some help with that, and I would love to help you, but right now I'm in the middle of something. How does later this evening sound to you? Would you like my help then? Something as simple as that. And you might get some sarcastic remark. You may get a snapback. They may yell at you. It just really depends on the individual in your situation. And then you need to show up, right? So then later that evening, if that's when you agreed to help them, you show up and you help them. And you don't have to actually have the conversation where you say, you always just expect and demand my attention. Why do you do that? No, you just set the boundary and then enforce it and then remain consistent with it. And I promise you, after you've done that a few times, they're going to start to figure out, oh, I need to ask for help and I need to schedule and plan for that help as it is suitable for this individual. And they're no longer going to come in and expect and demand that you just drop what you're doing and meet their need, because others' crises are not your crises unless you want them to be. So that's number one. You start setting those kinds of healthy boundaries, and the more that you do that and you stay consistent with it, you're going to feel more empowered. You're going to feel more in control. And as long as you're doing this in a healthy and respectful way, it's pretty magical what happens. So step number 2 of how you can step into your masculine energy. Do tough things physically, okay? And it doesn't matter what your physical condition is, what any physical limitations you may have, whatever would be super challenging for you. I want you to do those things, the things that make you feel like a bad mama jumba, okay? If that's smashing things. We have a local axe throwing gym that I like to go to throw axes and knives. So throwing axes and knives, that's one way that I can step into my masculine energy. But they have if you don't want to throw axes and knives or something like that, you can go, they have a rage room. And you can wear protective gear, get a baseball bat, and they will provide you with TVs and other electronics or furniture you can just smash. If you like lighting things on fire, of course, I'm not promoting anything that is unsafe or illegal or anything of that nature. If you have a big backyard and you have a fire pit, or you're somewhere where you can burn things and it's legal and safe and all of that, then you can light things on fire. So you can smash things. You can light stuff on fire. You can join a local gym for martial arts. You can just work out. You can do whatever it is that in your mind you perceive as aggressive or strong or empowering in that way. And you don't have to do it forever. You can just do it for a while to unleash that inner man. Maybe it's you set some sort of physical goal of climbing a mountain or completing a marathon. It's going to be different for everyone what you identify as something you think a man would do, or a strong person. It doesn't even have to be what a man would do. It would just be like what a strong woman or a strong person would do, and then achieve that goal or do that thing, and do it as often as you can, because you will see how it puts you into this energetic state. And as you begin to set your mindset in that vibration, in that physical state, you will organically begin to transform the internal and emotional and mental landscape, okay? Now, step number 3 of how to step into your masculine energy would be to think about certain things that maybe programming, ways in which you've been boxed in as a woman. And this is going to be really different and unique to each individual. Some things may be more universal or similar amongst women, but some things may be specific to you. Maybe there was something your father always told you, or there was something that a school teacher said, or an uncle, or and this isn't to be like a man versus woman, right? I love men and greatly value them, and I have some really wonderful men in my life that I cherish. But Unfortunately, growing up as a woman, sometimes there are relationships that we have had in the past with various men of significance. Maybe it was an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband or ex-partner. And there was programming that was there that made you feel like you had to wear makeup to be beautiful, or that you had to be quiet, right? Or you had to be unintelligent in order to be a respectable woman or to be valued. Whatever it is, there's so many different ways that this could show up for women. Whatever it is, the toxic programming that you were made to believe, that you had to have long hair to be beautiful. You have to wear makeup to be beautiful. You have to wear certain clothing or act a certain way, speak a certain way. Whatever it is, if you have that programming, then at least for a while, abolish it. Just strip it. If you were told that you have to wear makeup to be beautiful, stop wearing makeup. These are ways you can take your power back. And you don't have to not wear makeup forever. You can start wearing makeup again, right? But in the meantime, don't wear makeup for a while. Show up at the next family event looking beautiful with neatly brushed hair and a beautiful dress, whatever. Not a lick of makeup on. If you were told you have to wear dresses all the time and you don't want to wear a dress, wear some pants. Wear pants every day for 6 months, a year, if it needs be. And then you can wear dresses again if you want to. This is like, there's not a one size fits all. However this shows up for you. But you kind of get, this is just to give you the ideas. But these are ways that you can step into your masculine energy, because the more that you kind of challenge these boundaries, of course, in a mutually respectable way. We don't want to go around hurting others or disempowering others, anything of this nature. But the more that you can assert your own boundaries, take control over your own mind, body, and spirit to do things that help you feel strong and that help you feel special, that you feel alive, you feel capable, skilled. And maybe you've never been to college or to school or learned a skill or a trade because you weren't allowed to. You don't even have to go to college if it's that you don't have the money to do something like that or the time or the means. Start finding free resources online. Educate yourself. If there's a subject that interests you, study, absorb everything you can. Go to the library and check out books for free. Find articles online and become a near genius or expert in that area on your own with sources that are free and abundantly available to you. And then build up the confidence to start talking about those subjects, showing off who you are, taking pride in your abilities, your skills, what you have to offer, not just another human being, but the world. And these are 3 easy ways that you can step into your masculine power. How have you stepped into your masculine power? Has this been something you've struggled with? And I ask this because I want to caution you, because the opposite of this, where we talked about women can go too far, is that sometimes in a honest attempt to assert their God-given right to be an individual and to have rights and privileges and just to be their own person, in an attempt to do this, to regain power, sometimes women can become very passive-aggressive. They can become very harsh. They can become very cold and detached. And they begin to, inch by inch, strip themselves of the beauty of womanhood and the beauty of femininity. And they lose all of this, and they may not be able to get it back. But then they're operating, yes, maybe from a place of strength and dominance and assertion, but also from a place of trauma and wounding. And I understand that too. When you've quite literally had your power taken away from you, whether that be your body or your mind in various ways, it can be easy to become very angry and to become very cold and to almost want revenge through making a statement to the world of your worth, of your power, of your strength. But I issue you a warning and a caution to tread lightly down that path, because while this type of energy can serve a purpose for a time, it does not serve a purpose long term if it begins to go too far, and when you're operating from a place of hurt, of anger, of trauma, and a need to prove a point, or to take control in ways that it was taken from you. So with that being said, again, this is a balance, it's a dance, it's a journey to really master that yin yang of our energy. So I would encourage you to also watch the part 2 or partner to this video, which is 3 ways to step into your feminine energy. And then I'd love to hear from you in the comments about that yin yang, that balance. Have you struggled with that? Do you find that you're either overly feminine or overly masculine, or do you feel awkward or uncomfortable? Because sometimes as we establish that yin yang, we can feel awkward or uncomfortable, and that's okay too. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to engage with you and respond to your comments or questions. Thank you so much for your time and your energy here today. As always, much love, and we'll catch you next time.